Hi everyone, good morning. I'm not used to going on at 10 on Fridays mornings, but today's Halloween and we've got things to do this afternoon, so I thought I would come on early. So if you see that red live button up there, that means we're live, and if it's not red, that means you're watching a replay, which is just fine. I don't mind replays at all. So if you could hashtag replay, then I can comment with you guys and talk with you. I'm just going to try and find myself on my laptop here in case I lose comments. Sometimes it's hard to read the comments when I bring you up and then scroll you down. So I found myself. Hi, Lori's Creative Journals. How are you this morning? Do you guys get lots of trick-or-treaters? I don't think we'll get any on the ranch because I don't even get our great-grandkids on the ranch. They go somewhere else. So our little town that we have live by, they hand candy out. So we're going to go do that this afternoon. And then I think my granddaughters take the kids over to their aunt's place. They live like in a housing tract. We live on a ranch and it's dark. So I'm going to make a new journal. I'm going to be using this kind of like a faux leather, pleather, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's meant to, like to reupholster chairs or something like that. But it's beautiful. And I got it on my trip that I just took. Becky was so nice to give it to me. And thank you, Becky. And we're going to use this. Used to get a lot of kids. Yeah, we used to get a lot of kids too, but not since we live where we live. Hi, Carol. How are you this morning? Hi, Linda Martin. How are you this morning? So anyways, we're going to use this as our cover for it. Now, Cindy asked me from the retreat, she asked me if I had sold my feedback journal, and I said, well, I had to send it off for a replacement for one that was lost in the mail. So she's like, oh, I really wanted it. So we're kind of remaking this for her. Hi, Linda Martin. Hope you're going to get a bunch of trick-or-treaters today. I do like seeing the little ones. And actually, hi, Penny. I like seeing the older ones, too, because they could be out doing something much worse. So if they're out trick-or-treating, that's fine. They're having fun. As long as they are having fun and they're not being bullies out there, that's the difference. So I hope everybody has a really great afternoon looking at all the little ones being fun. So I did do some pre-cuts because nobody wants to sit here and watch me cut up feed bags. I mean, we still have to cut feed bags because I just kind of got them to where I could use them. And I'm still trying, I wish I could get the whole horse and the guy in a book. Someday I'm going to try to do that. I have to cut the horse's legs off or I have to cut the cowboy's head off. So neither one of them's good. But we're just going to take all of these. Hi, Debbie. How are you? You don't get much. We don't get, like I said, we don't have like street lights or anything like that on the ranch. So even our own little kids don't come, or the neighbors' kids. They all do the town thing. So I have this one feed bag that's kind of ripped up a little bit. I might try to salvage some of that. Thank you for kicking out the cow patties. They are definitely stacking up around here. And we did get some rain, which helps it to, so we have some more feed bag. And I have some more feed bag. And then I have some of my red dirt paper that I dye, or stain, or whatever you want to call it, I play in the mud with. So I'm going to add some of that in. So, hi Estella, thank you for coming in. Let me put my glasses on so then I can maybe read. How are you? Where are you from, Estella? We live in West Texas. You live in the country, Linda? Yeah, me too. We live in the Bonies. So I have a little bit of vellum I'm going to use. So I'm going to cut the vellum in half because it doesn't need to be a full page. It can just be a half a page or, short. So we'll do that. have that ready. Now, I've never made a journal using this particular product. So hopefully we're going to be able to do it. I do want it to be a soft journal. Wisconsin, ooh. Is it cold up there today? We're going to be in the 70s, which is nice because it's been dipping down into the chilies. I'm trying to see if there's a right side and a wrong side, and this looks like, I can't tell whether the flowers are going up or down because some are going up and some are going down. I think because this one right here, if you can see it, looks like the main flower on this page, and it looks like it's going up. So I think we're going to assume this is the top of the cover. And I do love this particular flower right here. I think you can see it. I can see it on my screen, so I hope you can see it too. So I'm hoping that I can get my needles through that, and I should get some pliers out just in case I need it to help me. But I want it to be a soft cover, so I'm not going to, Linda said that West Virginia got used to the cooler weather. Yeah, I did not get used to the cooler weather. It was nice going from, 95 down to, fall, but I like the 70s. That's nice. But we're going to try and put 2 signatures in this, and going to, like I said, I want to leave it as a soft cover. I am thinking of adding lace down here as a like a pocket. It's 45 in Wisconsin. Oh my goodness. See, that's like winter. Where's your fall? You didn't get any fall either, huh? So this is measuring, I think I got it. This is, if I actually use the right side of the ruler, this is measuring 9 inches. And let me turn the camera down now so you can actually see. Hi, Sharon Hinkle. How are you? Thank you for coming in and watching. We're going to make a feed bag journal. I have a horse, and we have feed bags, and we have bunches of cows. So this is going to be about 7 inches right now, but by the time we get our spine in, it should be about 6 inches wide. So I'm going to set my cover aside. Well, actually, let's see if we can find some lace, and so that can be drying. And then we'll start working on putting pages together. Like I said, this is going to be for Cindy. Well, she's not obligated. I mean, she said she wanted one, so if she doesn't want it, it'll just go up for sale. But so I do have this. This actually came from the Liberty House in Honolulu. My girlfriend got it for me, and she gave it to me anyways. I don't know where she got it from, but it's like the perfect size to make a pocket, and it's vintage. It's 45 there too. It feels like 32. Ooh, that's not fun. And this thing has got some hefty staples in it, man. I'm trying to get it out without hurting myself. Look at the size of that baby that they put in there. Man, they didn't want you to take that out at all. But that's cute. It was whoever bought it for $1, but to get it over from Hawaii over here, it probably cost a hefty penny. So we're gonna go ahead and I think use this, like I said, because this is vintage, and I want this book to stay as vintage, and I think that'll be a lovely pocket inside of there. And I was thinking of actually putting fabric in it, and I changed my mind about putting the fabric in. So I think I'm just going to put this lace in it. It'll be just perfect for a little pocket. It is perfect lace, Linda. I think so too. All right, let's find some scissors, and we can cut it down. And I'll still have some to work on another journal with, because this was doubled. So we still have this much left to work on another project with, which I think is so pretty. I didn't want to take it out to the mud because it was such a pretty lace to begin with. So I thought, I don't have to always get everything in the mud, right? I'm just trying to see which is the right side of this lace. It looks like this is the right side. So let me move my cutting board out. I'm trying to be better and not gluing on my cutting board. I want to get one of those glass plates for the for my desk. That would be fun. And then I could actually see this beautiful cedar. This was my grandmother's and my aunt's joined cedar chest when they were young. And my aunt's, I think my aunt's boyfriend or husband, I don't know if they were married or not, turned it into a table for her, because she needed a table. So they turned the cedar chest into a table. So I love having it, but I don't want to mess it up. So I would love to get a glass top so I could see the table and not mess it up. It used to sit in my garage, so it does already have a couple of spots that my husband kind of put stuff on. So we're just going to kind of glue around the edges. Hi, Jamie. How are you? You're going to have to do the replay. That's okay. I hope your doctor's visit goes well. And Sharon. It says Sharon's watching. So I'm just going to run a little bead of glue around the edge. And we'll just add this to it. It's kind of folded over, so I'm just trying to unfold that. And then we'll add it onto the bottom here. And I do have this right? Yep. Yes, I do. I'd be known to be putting things upside down before. So, like I said, this is hopefully going to Cindy. So I'm making it for her anyways. So we're just going to glue that down, and this will give this some time to set up while we start building pages and dry a little bit. Good morning, Jill. How are you? You don't like the I like cooler weather for a little while. I like the 4 seasons. I really do. I like 4 seasons. I do love summer the best, but come August, September, and when it's 95 in October, I'm a little bit done with summer. So, and then I start whining when it gets into the 40s or the 30s. We had our first frost the other day, and I knew it was coming because I got an alert from the box that listens to all of us. And so I brought in the plants from outside so they wouldn't have got hit with it. So I'll trim around the edge in a little bit when it starts to dry better, because if I do it now, hi Jean, thank you for coming in and watching. It'll just pull and everything. So we'll trim up that, and we might add some cute stuff. And I am going to make a leather strip that go around. This is not big enough, but I do have enough to make a band for it eventually. So I'm just going to set this aside for it to start drying, and then we'll try and start building a couple of signatures. I think we're going to try and put 2 in here if we can. And I'm going to get my cutting board back up. I'm going to try and rush through this because we have plenty of time to do it, and I can do it on Monday as well. So I'm just going to fold this. I know this is 8.5 by 11 because it's just a regular sheet of paper. And fold this one, so we'll get one of these in each signature. So once I start folding and stuff, I think I'm just going to make 2 piles up here, top of my desk. And if I can get it up there without getting in my way. And then we'll start cutting the feed bags apart. Now, on the last one I did, I enjoyed this little fold that comes naturally in the feed bag. It's where the sides, you know, it opens up. And this is 2 papers right here. So I think I'm going to leave that fold. It makes a beautiful flap, and if I'm mindful as when I'm sewing it in and get it sewn in the right spot, it really makes it cute. So I'm just going to flip it over and run that through my cutter here. And sorry about the noise. We'll have to trim down the size. So I don't want anything bigger than 6 inches for sure. So these are going to be, what are these? 8.5 by 11. So these are 5.5. Excuse me. So I'm going to do this one 5.5. We'll try and keep everything kind of about the same size. And like I said, I'm going to have to trim the bottom up because it is a little crooked there. Hi, Teresa. How are you this morning? So like I said, this little piece right here, if I'm mindful when I sew it in, I'll put it in the book, maybe backwards, like, and get it sewn in like that. Then it comes out and it's really kind of neat. At least it was in the last book I made. So I was in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal, and my journal came up missing. So I went ahead and sent my feedback journal, because I had started it and hadn't gotten it very far, as my replacement. So we'll see what everybody else does to the feedback. So this is 8 inches now. I'm just trying to trim up the side here a little bit because it was a little bit crooked. It still is a little bit crooked, but that's all right. It's a junk journal, right? The pages do not have to be the same size. Sometimes it makes it easier to sew in. So we have 2 of those. Like I said, this was a double piece of paper. And with the feed bag, you do get quite a bit of paper. I think the last one I made, I only used 1 feed bag and I got a lot of paper out of it. So we'll see how much we get out of this. So hi, Jean. How are you? Jean, what city do you live in? Like I said, we're in, or state, I should say, not city. I don't really need to know your state. So we need 11 inches, 8.5 by 11. So I'm just going to run this through. And like I said, I'm going to try and get as many papers as I can from recycling the feed bag. And I just want to straighten up this one side where I was just cutting away. And then I've already forgotten what size. I think 8.5 by, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I think it's 8 inches. I need 8 inches tall. Because the cover is 9 inches. So, it says, Linda's watching, Linda's watching. So we have 2 more. Fold those. Sometimes they get a little bit stuck together. Like I said, this is from my horse's feed. And I just wanted to show everybody, because I sell these bags, that it's fun to make journals out of them. I am going to do a sewing class on the other feed bags that are more like a material. Well, they're not a cloth, but they're kind of like a plastic woven. And we're going to make some cute bags like to carry your groceries or whatever you want to carry. So this one needs to be cut down just a little bit. And this one has this crazy little cut right here where they put the bag together. So I'm just going to cut that off. And then we'll go from there on this one. And then I don't really necessarily toss these until I am, hi Julie, thank you for coming in and watching this morning. Normally I'm on at 2 o'clock, so I'm off my schedule today. So I'm just going to trim up the other side. And for the people that are new to my page, my name is Liz, and I live on a ranch in West Texas with my daughter and son-in-law and my granddaughters and well, my grandson was here, but now he moved into town again. And our great grandkids. And we got one more baby on the way. So woohoo! I'm just pulling it apart where, sorry about the noise, the paper makes noise. I kind of like it, but some people might not. Where this feed bag was kind of sewn together. Maybe I'll move it away from the microphone at least, so it's not so terribly loud. And we'll just fold that. Boy, paper makes a lot of noise, huh? So this paper almost feels just like if you were making it from a paper bag from the grocery store. That's what this paper feels like. And we'll cover them up with some really cute, Lisa Siegel made me a very beautiful set of 1800s characters and different things, and I am going to reprint and put them into this one since I had to. Let's see if we can make. I'm going to put this white one in here as well. Like I said, let me move it away from the actual speaker or the microphone so it's not so. I want to have this so it folds in on itself. But it's going to be too wide. So I'm trying to figure out how I can. I want to be able to have the red chain. So if I go to 11 there, I think I'll just go ahead and cut it where it's naturally folded, and then we'll figure out how to fold it in when we get it in there. So it looks like it had a natural fold right here. So I'm going to cut that. And that'll just give us a unique paper in our bag. So I want it to fold like this, so it'll be a flip out. So I'm going to fold that, and then I'll fold this over, and then we'll sew it in like that. And then that way it'll be a flip out. If that makes any sense to me. Hi, Jimmy Lou. How are you this morning? I know that you kind of said you were just feeling a little bit icky still. So thank you for coming on and watching. I got to be better than watching the news, right? No. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to fold this one over, and then we'll sew that one. I'm trying to get it straight though. That would be at least nice, right? And this one's a little bit, let's just make sure that we're not, yeah, we are a little over. So I think I am going to take a little bit off the top and a little bit off the bottom, and that way it'll straighten it out. But I love how, you know, it has all of the little writings and everything on it. And so far, we haven't used any, well, I guess I did use my own dyed paper I made. But everything, all the rest of the paper so far has come from the feed bag. Hi, Renee. How are you this morning? Hi, Ashley. How are you? What you doing? Letting the kids watch their nanny, huh? Are they watching me? You can do this with any kind of feed bag, dog food bag, horse food. I don't know if most dog food bags don't normally have as many layers to them as you get with the feed bag. Once again, we have that unique fold right there, but I think this time I will separate it and let one side have the little tiny cute fold. And so far, I've only used one feed bag. I do sell the feed bags. They're $5 for the feed bag, but unfortunately, these feed bags are expensive to ship. So that's the bummer part. So we're gonna get down here. I want it to do that still. I need to feed it the other way. I need it to feed in this way. Boy, I'm noisy this morning, huh? Sorry about all the noise. So we're going to do that, and we'll straighten up the page because this page is a little bit crooked. And now that we have it folded, and this is 2 pages, so I'm just going to straighten up the bottom because I was cutting this with my scissors earlier. I did not get a very straight line. Should have used a rotary cutter. So we have 2 more pages. And hi Janet, how are you? Oh my goodness. See, this is where it's been kind of glued together. I was fortunate at one time to get a bag that I just sold it at the retreat that I just went to, and it had never been even sewn together. So that was kind of neat. Sometimes when I go get the feed, the guy will have some fresh feed bags that have never been used that the companies will put on the bottom of the pallets. And he knows that I make journals out of them, so he'll save them for me, which is really kind of neat. So let's see how many pages we have already. So we have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay, so we still need to have some more. I'm going to get some more out of this one. And I do have some cute doilies, paper doilies that I dyed with the red dirt from the branch. So I'm going to add in and some other papers. So let's fold this one over and we'll straighten up the sides. So has everybody got fun plans today? How many of you guys dressed up for Halloween to trick or treat with your kids? I don't. So, at the store one year, I think we were, when my granddaughter was pregnant, I think we went as I don't remember now if we were thing 1, 2, and 3 or what, but we did dress up one year to hand out candy at the store. That was kind of fun. So we have 2 more. And like I said, this is a 3-layer bag. So we had, most of the bags are 3 layers. So let's fold that. Make sure that this is the right size. Like I said, I just don't want anything over the side of the back, the cover. I don't want anything sticking out. And that one was really crooked, so they don't have to necessarily be the same height. You want levels and layers, as Miss Jimmy Lou would say. Levels and layers, layers and levels. So here's 2 more pages. And then I'm going to put in, this is from our cute drugstore, our local drugstore, so I'm going to put that in. I have 1 for each signature. And then I do have some cute chicken paper here that I'm going to put in. So that's cute. So then we'll put that in. And this is really cute. Put this one in. And then we can fold this barn up, put it in. And there's another little chicken with the barn. So we'll put that one in. I'm hoping that we can get this sewn in today. And then, let's see, we have 30 minutes. I do absolutely love this Mullen paper. So I want to put that in. It's a little bit big. It's like, it's, you know, it's papers that are made with the fibers, and it's just beautiful. It does not cut very well on my cutting board. That is for sure. So I'm thinking I want to fold it up and make it like a pocket inside. And then, so we need to fold it up just a little bit more. And then I can just tear it on the edge. Or I'll try and see if I can cut it with this cutter. We'll see. There's no guarantee, but that is going to make it kind of cute. So that's kind of not very straight, but cute. So we'll keep those for little belly bands. And then we'll do the same kind of thing for the other side. I haven't seen Sue B. She must be thinking I'm going to come on. You and Bo. You and Boo, actually, I should say. All right, so this is, you know, from the factory, not very straight, so that's fine. We'll leave it like that. And I'm just going to cut this one. Actually, I think I'm going to be smarter and do it smarter. Smarter, so we have a wider piece left over. Sue must be out doing chores or something. I don't see her. So we're just going to cut that off. And we'll use that for something else. So now we have this in here. And I think I might be happy with that. And then I have, like I said, I have some doilies that I dye, red dye paper. And I will be trying to have a sale next Thursday. I haven't had a sale in a while because I've been on this trip that I went on. So we'll put one of those in. And I got a whole bunch of new lace while I was on my trip. And I'm looking forward to dyeing those. So we'll put that in. And then I think we have enough for our signature. We'll add it up one more time. We'll kind of build it and we'll add it up. And then I will be, like I said, reprinting out some really pretty stuff. I do have this really pretty red that I wanted to add in. So I might add the red in and then we might be enough. But I want to get this red chain in. I love the red from this paper. So I'm just trimming down where the bag where it went through the artwork and changed colors from red to white here. And this, see, it says pull easy narrow tape. I love that. So we're going to just do that. And I do have another one for the other side. And I'm going to trim this down this side. And this should give us enough paper. After this, we're not going to put any more paper in, I don't think. I want to get it past this chain, so ugh. I hate cutting that chain. But it looks like we're going to have to. Let me just double check and see if I'm going to Yeah, we're gonna have to. All right. So, say goodbye, chain. Half your links are gone. No. All right, so now is it tall enough? We're gonna have to take some. So I'm gonna take some off of the bottom because I love that top where it's been sewn. We'll just take a little bit off the bottom just to make it straight. So that gave us 1, 2, 3 more pages. Wow. All right, we have enough. So let's do the same thing. The other side of that bag is white, so I don't want to use that. So we can do, I need to get all of this bags away. Okay, so let's do the same thing with this red on this side, and this one has the horse in it. And then we'll be done, I think. We're gonna miss the chain on this one too, apparently. Alright, so I got to get all this feedback out of my way, because if not, I just feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed with it all on my desk. Hi Terry, how are you? Thank you for kicking out the cow patties. And we have to straighten up the bottom too. So I'm going to use this for a like a belly band inside because I do love the chain. I'm just going to straighten up this edge, and then we have what we need to make our signatures. And let's try and see if we can figure out how to sew them in. So let me get my desk a little bit more organized. Real quick. I'm just going to move all this stuff over. Out of the way, over there. And that gives us the 3 pages on this side. So let's build us a signature. Or 2 signatures, I should say. So, and I do want to grab my pliers because I know I'm gonna probably need pliers to pull the needle through. All right. Let's go. Let's build a signature. I don't know if that goes here or not. So we're not going to get the horse and, or the cowboy and the horse. I already know that, the way it folds. Cowboy gets kind of, you can see him a little bit on this side. So we'll use that, and then the back side of the horse will be later. That makes any sense, right? So since we don't really have I'm trying to, words are hard sometimes. We don't have an actual printable that we're using. We're making up our own printable. Like I said, Lisa did make me a printable, but I'm using those to decorate it with and not to make the pages. Now see that this is kind of wonky on the bottom. And I'm okay with it being a little bit wonky because it is, you know, this is recycled stuff, and we can add lace on it later and it'll make it better. So we'll add you need to cut the end off of your, if you don't cut it beforehand, it's much harder to cut when it's sewed in. I know this from firsthand. So we'll add that in. And then let's add our chicken in. And we'll add another brown paper. Like I said, they're all different sizes, and as long as it doesn't, yeah, we're good. It's okay that we have levels and layers. This one wants to be a booger though. Does not want to fold right. Let's start that one over again. See how it wants to wrinkle? It's causing me troubles here right off the bat. So we have, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll add this pretty doily. That's 6. And we can add a piece of this one in. That has that funny 7. We can add our really pretty, I think it's mullen paper. I think that's what they call it. That's 8. We'll add another one of those. 9. We can add, that is 10. I'm almost wanting this to be my center. So this is my own paper that I dye. It will be pretty, you know, because we're going to add really pretty papers to them. Hi, Jimmy Lou. And we'll add our vellum. And I need to get my clips out. Actually, I'm not. There's a beautiful picture that Lisa Siegel made that is going to be absolutely beautiful as the center. So now I want to make sure that when I sew this in, and I'm sewing it with the flip out like that, so it gets sewn in. So this will kind of come out. And then we'll this one as our centerpiece. And then that beautiful picture that she has. And she'll release that. This one's not very straight. So let me get this one straight because this is going to be our center. Oh, boy, I did not cut that very straight at all. So now that's straighter. So we're going to have this as our centerpiece. And we'll just add this up one more time. Get some clips out of my box here. I keep everything to sew in a signature in my little box. Ouch! And those are very sharp. The awls are very sharp. So, almost need to put like something over those awls. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That's perfect. That's a perfect little signature there. So now we'll work on the other one. Let me get my clip out. So let's build this one. So I want this chain to be the front. So we have 1, 2, 3 pages already. We'll add this one. So what we added to the one, we're going to kind of, we're not really doing it the same, but we're going to try and make sure it's close. Because we don't have really 2 pages that are alike. So this one is going to get sewn that way, and then I'll have a little flip. I think I want it to flip out that way. So that way it'll flip and flop out. And we can put our white one in. No, I don't want to do that yet. So we have 2 more of these. And then we'll add our vellum. And we can add this really pretty rooster. And we can add our, I almost forgot to cut the edge off. Cut our edge off of that. I don't know if I'm going to get both of them sewn in. I'm trying. I've never sewn through this faux leather before, so we will see what will happen. And then I'm going to add these 2. And we'll put this doily, we'll put that in. And I have this white one. And we'll add this crinkly one. And we'll put the doily. And we'll put this one that's going to be our centerpiece. So now we'll count this one and then we'll get to sewing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This one has one extra page, so let's just take out one of the brown pages out. I'm going to take this little wrinkle one out because it's driving me crazy already. And now we have 17 in each one. And I know I haven't looked at comments. So, hi Janet, how are you? Hi Julie, thank you for coming in. So this one is way out there. So I am going to just fix that problem right now before we get into trouble later. I mean, it would have fit okay, but I just want to, I don't want to have any problems later. And that's our centerpiece. So let's get them all clamped. And we'll get to sewing. I need bigger clamps, I think. So we don't need the cutting board anymore, so let's move it out of our way. And yikes-o. Say yikes-o, yikes-o, yikes-o. So I have a 2-inch spine already made, and I have like 1 inch. I think I'm going to wing this one because, like I said, I'm going to do it on this leather. So we're going to put 2 of these in. I'm just going to add another clip over here. And this one paper just does not want to play very good. Like I said, almost all of these papers in here are just from the feed bag. Crazy how you can repurpose a feed bag and make a beautiful journal. I mean, it's going to be beautiful when it's done. So I'm just going to get this bigger clamp because I can go like that. And then well, this one is going to be our front on this one. I'm going to use my ruler here. I don't know how I ended up with that extra piece, but I did. And I'm just going to try and get it to where it kind of holds straight. And since we are using recycled stuff, everything wants to just kind of tweak a little bit here and there, which is fine. I don't mind it doing that. So this is going to be our first one. And that's going to be, I think, beautiful inside of there. So I just want to even it out. And then we have to decide what color we're going to use. So this is a very brown, very, very brown. So I do have a very brown. That one you can kind of see a little bit on there. What other color I have? I have a black. So I don't know if I want to use the black. Say WWJD. What would Jimmy Lou do? No. Would she use the black or would she use the brown? And then I have a kind of a, I think that's too light because that one you can definitely see right off the bat. And this is like a dark blue, so that's not going to work. I think it's going to be either the brown or the black. Anybody said anything? Hi, Cindy. We're working on your book. Ooh, what would Jimmy do? She's not saying. She's not saying would she use the black or would she use the brown. I mean, if we have to cover it, we have to cover it. So I guess we'll go with the brown. Yikes. So let me get this ruler out of my way right now. And then we're going to get our 3 awls out. And we got to get our needles out. And like I said, I did get my pliers out, so in case I, excuse me, need help. I just want to line it up to make sure that I'm not getting out of center. You know, we don't want to get it off on the bottom. We don't want to get it off on the top. And then we're going to, I think I'm going to clip it to it. So now that's pulling, so I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I stay there. So here we go, guys. I never am afraid to do stuff, but sometimes I should. Thank you. I got it when I went on a trip to Mexico. We have timeshare Mexico. So I picked it up there. All right. So I think we're good because we got to leave room for the other one. So I'm just going to kind of go in the center and we're going to go through. And I'm going to leave this big boy in there. So now the only rule to junk journaling is to sew in your signature straight. So I'm going up. And we're just gonna, that looks pretty straight so far. So now I'm gonna put one more in the top. And I'm not on any time, this one, see, is smart, has a little cover on it. So I'm not on any time, I'm not in an event or anything, so I will get both of these sewn in before I get off of here. I do like to keep my lives at around an hour, just because it makes it easier. I feel like I was off a little bit, so that's why I'm hesitating to put it through. Because I don't want to get it tweaked. All right, we're going to go through. Okay, so we're through on the first one. And I have extra room on the back to move it over to get us lined up for the second signature. And I love this material. I just love it. Okay, so now we're gonna, hi Lisa, I'm gonna use your printables again on this one. Lisa Siegel there, she can come in on her, thank you for kicking out the cow patties, but you should come in on your page so they know where to find the beautiful signatures that I will be eventually putting in. I'm going to do it different this time. I'm just going to add the pictures from the beautiful signatures. So now we're going to find a needle that's going to go through all of this. I don't want a huge needle. So that's good, I think. So I really want to learn how to do different ways to sew it in. But right now we're going to do a 3. I might come back and do a crisscross later after it's done to make the outside look really pretty. So we have the one. So I'm going to hold on to this one really good and tight so we can go up through it without losing anything. And we got in there. This is easier than I thought. I really thought I was going to have to use the pliers to go through. So now I'm going to hold on to this one really tight and get that out. And I spoke too soon. Nope, it went through. Okay. I was like, I spoke too soon. And now we're going to go right back in to the center there. So I'm going to hold this. And I'm just going to go through my center. And then I'm going through my hole there. And we're in. So the only thing we want to make sure that we have a tail on one side and a tail on the other. And for some reason, I always seem to have a short side and a long side. And that's pretty straight. I'm happy with how straight that turned out. Oh, my needle came out. Luckily, it didn't go on the floor. So we'll tie this off, and we'll add our second signature. And then on Monday, we'll have fun playing with it. There you go, Vintage Roots Digital Designs. She does some amazing, amazing work. Almost, I don't want to say all of my stuff, but almost all of my stuff comes from her. So I am going to unclip this one, and I'm going to clip them together so it'll stay out of my way. And we're just going to double check and make sure that everything's good before we go to our second one, and it looks good. So I'm going to clip this onto that, whoops, the cover if I can. It's pretty thick now. And now we're going to put the second one in. And we're going to pray we can line it up. So Jimmy's watching. It's like having your teacher watch you doing a thing. It's like, I feel like I'm back in school, or having to do trait care or something while my teacher's watching or something like that. So now we have our second signature, and I do want to add another clip to it. I only clipped one side. I want to make sure it's nice and straight, and it's not. So luckily for us, we haven't sewed it in yet. So I don't know how it got sewed. So let's move this out, and we'll try and see if we can pounce it down. Get these pages straight. Like I said, I don't mind that the pages have levels and layers in them because this is a junk journal. So I'm okay with having some pages longer than the others. But I do want it to look like it's supposed to be a signature. We don't want our cover part to be crooked. So I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put a clip over here. And then we're going to pray again. So we're going to put this one in. And just making sure that that's going to be, I think, plenty of room in there to get it in. And we just have to match up where we sewed the other one. So that gives me plenty of room. So I'm just kind of going off of where I actually sewed the other one. Hi, Carolyn. How are you? Thank you for coming in. Hi, Debbie and Deshelle. How are you? And Sharon, thank you for coming in. Oh, I'm going to take a deep breath. I got an A+. Oh, my goodness. I did graduate college with a 4.0, so, but I'm not bragging. It was hard work. So I am going to put my first one in, and like I said, I'm just matching up where I sewed the other one, just so that looks kind of nice on the spine. We want it to be beautiful, right? And since I'm not using a template, I suggest that you might want to use one, but we're lined up where I want to be. So at least we got one in there in the right spot. I'm just pushing that bad boy in. And then now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And I'm just trying to kind of go in exactly. I mean, this is what you do a template for. I've been very kind of fortunate that, that my eye and hand coordinations are pretty good together. Not the only thing I have going for me. No. So, I guess it's from all of the crafts I've done all my life or whatever. My grandma taught me how to knit when I was like 3. So I didn't know what I was doing, obviously, but so I'm just lining it up again with the other one. And before we, see, this one to me is a little bit, it's like just a smidgen higher. But I think we're going to have to live with that because this is not a real material and it's going to leave a hole. So I'm okay with it being just a smidgen off. And I probably should have had it over a little bit more. But I think I'm okay. It's kind of a little bit narrow spine, but it will be okay. So let's go ahead and load up our next thread. So we're going to do 3 plus some. And my plus some always ends up at the end for some reason and not at the beginning. I don't know why. No matter how much I leave as a tail, I still always pull it all the way through for some reason. And lately I've been having my thread separate on me. I've never seen wax threads start separating. So I don't know if that's a weather thing that we're having here in Texas or what. Okay, so we're gonna take the center one out. We do have it upright, yeah. We do have it in the right way, right? Before I do this. Thank you. I love the cover too. I got it in Missouri from Becky. She covered her furniture or her chairs with it, and she's the niece to my girlfriend that I went to see in Missouri. And I said, oh, that's really pretty. That would make a great journal. She goes, here, have it. I'm like, okay, I will. So I'm going all the way up, and I'm going to hold this really tight. And we're going to get ourselves through there, I hope. Does not want to go through. Why not? Oh, maybe it does heal itself. Maybe it does heal itself. I don't know why I can't see it. Huh. There it is. I just couldn't see it. So that, when you get a problem like that, don't panic. That's where you get in trouble, is when you start panicking. So don't panic, just take your time. Look. There's no harm in looking. You're building yourself a journal. You want it to look nice. Don't get yourself into a fret if you can't see something. Just look. Like I said, it's not try not to go through your thread like I almost did. And make sure that your tail is on one side. But don't have a meltdown because it didn't, you're supposed to be having fun. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Even enjoy the mistakes if you can. You're just learning from them, so enjoy them. So I think that's good. It is slightly off a little bit right there. So maybe I'm going to get the plus taken off. Maybe I'll still get an A. But and we're going to tie that. And we're just going to make sure it's nice and tight. Nice and tight back there. And it's probably going to be a little bit of an alligator by the time it gets done. Wild Crocodile Dundee or something. But we got both of them in, and I only went over 4 minutes, so that's pretty good. We got 2 signatures sewed in an hour. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit of that. I'm going to pick up these little sharp boogers, and I'm going to put them away. And then I'm going to bring the camera up, and we'll take a look-see. And then I'm going to sign off of here, because my daughter and I are going to go to lunch. And take the clips off. Put those away, and I'm bring the camera back up. Hi, Sue. I know I posted that I was going on early. We're going to hand out candy at the store today. So we got our 2 signatures sewed in this beautiful pleather. It's not real leather. We have our really pretty pockets. Yeah, you can go on at any time you want to go on, Sue, today, because I will be, I'm over right now. So on Monday at 2 o'clock, we will start decorating this beautiful journal. And I love how it came out so far. Thank you. We're going to jump off now. And I just want to thank everybody for watching and enjoying this journey of making this from a feed bag and the leather cover. And like I said, almost everything in here was recycled except for maybe 4 or 5 pages. So everything looks good. I will enjoy my lunch with my daughter. We haven't gone out to lunch for a while, so it'll be fun. And then we're going to go hand out candy to hundreds and hundreds of kids that come through our little town. So I will see everybody on your other pages, and I will see everybody at 2 o'clock on Monday. And thank you so much for crafting with Nani. Have a wonderful Halloween. Ooh.